Xuan Zedong, Lai Xiaoxia, Zhang Jieliang, Sun Yingsha, Fan Zhengdong. That wasn't a tongue twister. It's the names of 5 out of several Chinese athletes who have won the World Table Tennis Championship since 1959. It may seem coincidental that they're all Chinese, but it really isn't. China is the world's current hub of table tennis champions, having won the most Olympic medals in the sport. All this is because of one man, Ivor Montagu. Welcome back to Table Tennis Central, guys. Today we'll be sharing the story of Ivor Montagu, the 20th century English aristocrat and socialite who changed the game of table tennis in China and the world at large forever. Ivor Goldsmith Samuel Montagu was born in 1904 to one of England's wealthiest families. His Jewish family owned a financial empire and had ties to the royal family and other members of Great Britain's elite class. He was educated at Westminster School and King's College, Cambridge. With such a privileged background, many people expected him to pivot into politics or the military like his brother Ewan. Not Ivor, though. He sought a grander life and pursued it in spite of opposition. Montagu began with zoological research and then moved into filmmaking in the 1920s and 30s. He was quite successful as a filmmaker, but the talented man had more in store. During World War II, an interesting twist of events caused him to become a spy for the Soviet Union. However, his most widely celebrated feat was his influence in table tennis, which started when Ivor was just a 17-year-old undergraduate at Cambridge University. As you probably already know, table tennis, or ping pong as it was called at the time, was an upper-class pastime in Victorian England. Ivor Montagu excelled at the game and became the founding chairman of the English Table Tennis Association, ETTA, in 1923. The International Table Tennis Federation, ITTF, was founded in 1926, and Montagu was appointed as its first chairman. He also served as the president of the association for the next 30 years. The ITTF hosted the first World Table Tennis Championships in London, England in 1926. Ivor clearly had a goal in mind and would waste no time getting started. The Swaithling Cup, awarded to winners of the men's team event, was donated by his mother, Lady Baroness Swaithling. This event will be held biennially, becoming a global event for lovers of Montagu's passion. Talk about putting his influence to good use. So how exactly did Ivor Montagu continue the growth of table tennis in China? To unravel this, we'll have to backtrack to the years before the creation of the People's Republic of China, PRC. Although it had also transitioned from a recreational activity into a sport in some Chinese quarters, not many people knew it existed. In fact, it took 14 long years after the first China National Games in Beijing for the Shanghai Table Tennis Association to be created. National recognition was still a long way off. That's why, when Mao Zedong, the Chinese Communist leader, declared the creation of the People's Republic of China, PRC, table tennis remained a minor sport. In 1951, the newly created PRC was invited by the Soviet Union to participate in the 1952 Helsinki Olympics. Athletes from Taiwan and Beijing were allowed to represent the Republic of China, but the newly established People's Republic was not having it. Its leaders wanted to be the only China in the game, but the Olympics Organizing Committee didn't grant their request. This is where our man Ivor Montagu stepped in. Ivor, who had already assumed the position of chairman at the IITF, acknowledged Mao's government with a welcome letter and invited the country to participate in international table tennis competitions as China. At this time, table tennis was not an Olympic sport, but the federation was already a well-established sports body. The new China's leaders jumped at the offer for recognition and invested in training table tennis players. You know the interesting part? Ivor Montagu's letter that proposed for the PRC to join the federation was ignored at first, yet he was willing to accommodate them at the World Championship in Bombay even after the deadline passed. They still didn't respond, but he was unfazed. You'd think he could see into the future of the country. His next move was to attend the celebratory ceremony for the founding of the People's Republic of China and meet with its leaders. Then he attended a national table tennis competition and officially invited the players to participate in the World Championship. He went on to assure them that he would not let Taiwanese players join as the Republic of China. Considering what had happened with the Olympics, this was a big deal for the People's Republic of China. As you can guess, this prompted its leaders to throw their weight behind table tennis as a sport in China. Counting on the support of Ivor Montagu and the ITTF, the leaders of the People's Republic of China began to build their arsenal of table tennis talents. Fu Qifeng, a participant in the 1952 World Table Tennis Championship under Hong Kong, returned and represented China in 1957. He won a bronze medal in the Swaithling Cup and became the head coach of the Chinese men's team. Rong Guotan was also recruited to play for the country. Keep that name in mind, because we've got more gist about him coming up. Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee, IOC, kept messing up. They still recognized the controversial Republic of China as a country, even going as far as letting them compete in the 1956 Olympics Games in Melbourne, Australia. Chairman Mao and his sports executives had it. They refused to participate in the Games and also refused to recognize the IOC. As if that wasn't loud enough, the country disassociated itself from all international sports federations that supported their counterparts. This was war, and if Ivor Montagu's ITTF was all they had, they were fine with it. This meant one thing: there weren't many competitions for the People's Republic of China to compete in on the global stage, so they did what anyone else would. They faced their one global sport head-on. Table tennis in China experienced massive support from its leaders. There weren't many professional teams, but the available ones, including the Shanghai team, were sponsored to compete nationally and internationally. 2 years after the Melbourne Olympics, China held 3 national table tennis tournaments all in the same year. Now, remember Rong Guotan, who we mentioned earlier? He brought the People's Republic of China to the limelight by smashing through a lineup of European table tennis stars at the 1959 World Table Tennis Championships. He emerged as the winner of the men's single title, announcing to the world that there were new kids on the block. Ivor Montagu's generosity and persistence were paying off, and the Chinese government milked the win. It quickly became a political affair, and accomplished athletes became the government's new patriots. Chairman Mao met famous table tennis players, they were celebrated in the media, and new merch for the sport was produced en masse and sold locally. In no time, table tennis became the most popular sport in China. For people who thought Ivor Montagu was done with China, his next step caused them to change their minds. After the country's groundbreaking victory, the International Table Tennis Federation, still under Montagu's leadership, decided to host the next World Championships in Beijing. The government yet again responded by implementing policies to promote table tennis nationally. It set out to enroll all school children from their second year of primary education in table tennis programs. When relations between China and the Soviet Union deteriorated in the 1970s, table tennis was the bridge that the US turned to. This was called the ping-pong diplomacy. What are the odds that what started as an English pastime would become a tool for international relations? We have one man to thank for this: Ivor Montagu. Table tennis made its debut at the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, and the People's Republic of China participated. There it won 5 gold medals, 2 of which were for table tennis. Sadly, Ivor Montagu, the true star and godfather of table tennis, was not alive to see this. He passed away 4 years earlier in November 1984. He was 80 years old. China, for whom he fought, has dominated the global table tennis scene since the 1990s. It is the most successful nation playing table tennis at the Olympics with 60 medals. The closest to this is South Korea, which has just 18 medals altogether. Now, a grand table tennis tale such as this would be incomplete without China and the main man who started it all, Ivor Montagu. One of many ways the Honourable Ivor is honoured today is the annual celebration of World Table Tennis Day. It is held on April 23rd, his birthday. According to the ITTF, World Table Tennis Day celebrates the joy of playing table tennis for fun, bringing people together, focusing less on competition and more on participation and enjoyment. No better words describe Ivor's dream for the game he loved. We can see in it how far he was willing to go to make it the global sport that it is today. China definitely does. Now, with every serve, every smash, and every stroke, with every medal that China adds to its tally, Ivor's legacy lives on.